If you're looking to go flawless in MLB The Show 26 Battle Royale mode, then this video is for you. Now, I will say, guys, I recorded this video and my audio was messed up until the gameplay part of it, but the entire bit about where I was teaching you guys how to draft, that is gone. So I'm going to teach you guys how to draft and then use the gameplay that I had taught you guys in the previous recording. So that's why the lineups will be different. But I'll still talk you guys through everything. It'll be, same things apply, same methods apply. So the only part that'll be different is I'm going to teach you guys how to draft. So let's get into that. So as you can see in the top left, been flawless this year, been flawless twice, got like 6 10-1s. Last year I went flawless 5 times. So this is what I do to go flawless. And teach you guys how to draft. So this first round, I'm always looking for the best possible card overall. Looking for very high power, things like that. Pedroia is a good card. Power is okay. I'm taking Ted Williams here just because he plays left field and he has high power. George Kell, not good power. So we're taking Ted Williams. I like switch hitters. My bullpen is going to be sinker cutter mixes. Common is always going to be a starting pitcher. Bronze is always going to be starting pitchers because I want to have a mix of 4 starting pitchers that are bronze and 1 starting pitcher that is common. My diamonds and golds are always going to be position players or bullpen arms, never going to be starting pitchers. So Devers has very high power. I like his swing. Napoli's a very, very good catcher, very high power. Brian Reynolds always has a good swing year after year. Sean Armstrong, sinker cutter, good option, but Brian Reynolds here, switch hitter, high power, good swing. I'm taking Brian Reynolds. Now my next round, there's one card here that I enjoy. The rest of them I don't use. So starting pitchers in your jolt rounds, don't take them. Harold Baines has no pop. Derek Jeter, I don't like this card. Justin Morneau, I've used this card before. I like him. Good contact, high power against righties, good power against lefties, good fielding as well at first base. I'm taking Morneau. Okay. Now there's 2 cards here that I'm looking at. Sato, third baseman, very high power, good fielding, and a lefty bat. I like this card. Okay. Drew Jones is a very good one as well. He's parallel 5. I love his swing. Absolutely love his swing. He has very high fielding, can play right, left, or center field. So my pick here is going to be Drew Jones because I can plug him in at center field. Now, next pick here. You can go 2 different ways. James McCann's a good catcher, decent pop. Jazz Chisholm has good pop at second base. Gunnar Henderson's playing up on inside edge. The only thing with Henderson, he has a gold card. So I'm not going to take this diamond. Catchers, I can find a silver. As you can see in the gameplay, I use Salvador Perez. So I'm going to go Jazz Chisholm just because second base doesn't have as many options. Now, silver round here, a lefty with a sinker. Always going to go that. Sinker cutter with a lefty. Here's our first kind of pinpoint on the silver round. Sean Murphy is a very good catcher option. He has very high power, very high fielding. I like his swing. I'm taking him. Go with the bronze. Sinker cutter is even better, but he's a starting pitcher, so we're taking him. Starting pitcher for a bronze. Starting pitcher for a bronze. Now the gold, I'll look. These gold position players are okay. Yu Chang swings okay. Larry Doby, I haven't used. But Taylor Rogers, lefty with a sinker, he's pretty nasty. So I'm taking Taylor Rogers because he's another lefty with a sinker. Our last bronze is starting pitcher, okay? Now we get into the position players. I'm not taking a starting pitcher as a gold. Willie McGee being a switch hitter, probably going to be very high on my list. Cal Ripken is not bad, but I know I can find a shortstop that I can use that has higher pop. Jordan Westberg I'm not taking. Willie McGee is going to be who I take here, and the reason is because he's a switch hitter. So I'm going to take Willie McGee. Boom. perfect example. Colson Montgomery, shortstop, parallel 5. I love his swing, very high power, high fielding, 92 fielding, 94 pop, and he's playing down on inside edge with that pop. I always take Colson Montgomery when I have the option to, because I love that card that much. Here, this is going to be a throwaway round, just Miguel Vargas. I'm not taking a starting pitcher. Dylan Dingler, he's another catcher. Michael Bush he's not a bad bench bat. Will Abreu is a good bench bat. So for me, honestly, here, probably what I'll do is I'll take Will Abreu, just because he has higher clutch and higher contact, and use him as a bench bat. Dylan Dingler, I want another catcher, but I can find a bronze as a catcher. So I'm going to take Will Abreu as a bench bat. And here, boom, perfect example. Patrick Bailey, here's my backup catcher if I need to pinch run, pinch hit, whatever it may be. Taylor Clark is going to be the option here. He is a reliever with a sinker, slider, circle change. I will probably take this lefty here just because he's a lefty with a sinker, circle change, and a sweeper. His pitches, a pitch mix that goes left, right, and vertical. So I'm going to take Cade Gibson. Jake Cousins is decent. He's a sinker, slider, fastball. Good break. I don't like Bohm. I don't love his swing. Addison Barger, I don't like. So I'm going to go Jake Cousins for the bullpen. Benintendi or Alex Call, another throwaway bronze round. Here's another silver round. Harrison Bader has good defense. Adolis Garcia is okay. He has a good arm. I might take him just as a bench bat, just in case. I've got only starting pitchers and and bullpen arms. So Bruce Sutter is going to be who I take. Starting pitcher. The Bruce Sutter pick is not ideal, but I can get by with it just because he has the splitter slider. But here, you want to look for sinker cutters. So Justin Sterner only has a cutter. Bender, I like Anthony Bender. He has that sinker circle chain slider. Sean Armstrong has sinker cutter. Phil Maton has sinker cutter. So you want to look. Armstrong has just the sweeper other than the sinker cutter. Same with Phil Maton, but he has a curveball. I'm going to go Phil Maton here just because if you look, his hits per 9 is 92.82, 109.71. In that event that you have to match up with somebody, Maton has 91 clutch. I'm going to go Maton. I like this card, so I'm going to stick with him. Chris Martin, sinker cutter. He's awesome. If you see him, you need to draft him just because of his pitch mix. Jeff Hoffman's a good one. Bennett Sousa as a lefty option is very good as a sinker. Tyler Kinley, he doesn't have a sinker. I don't use him. Chris Martin is who we're going to round this out with. I'm going to show you guys how I do my lineup. So we'll go... I like to do my best bats first, so we'll probably lead off with Morneau, and then we're going to use Miguel Vargas, just because I can get by with one bronze. So we're going to go Morneau, Brian Reynolds, Jazz Chisholm, Murphy, Colson Montgomery, Ted Williams, Drew Jones, Montgomery, Willie McGee, Vargas. So that's how I'm going to line up with this team. And then I've got my bench bat and Will Abreu and Adolis Garcia. Bullpen's looking strong, so let's get into the gameplay. So as you can see, we're loading into a game. I like to start with an opener out of the bullpen. I don't use my starting pitchers as much. Just because if I need to, I can bring them in. So for me here in BR, my approach is going to be pretty simple. I'm not swinging at anything out of the zone unless I have 2 strikes. Okay, so I'm looking for one thing, and that's something like just middle, like belt high, middle of the zone that I can get a hold of. And like that, he hung a breaking ball, took it the other way into the gap, 1-0 me. Okay, so I'm very patient when I play BR. You know, I didn't like that, so I'm looking for something that I want to swing at unless I have 2 strikes. I mean, that's the same pitch and it got called a ball, so, you know, perfect umpires are just useless. That was a great pitch to swing at, but I was late. So, you know, my PCI, if you want to watch my hitting tips, I go over it a little bit there. But I tend to start my PCI, especially on All-Star, just a little bit down and then kind of adjust. But as you can see there, you know, 2 strikes, I had to protect, so went up and got it and base hit. You know, we always want to make hard contact when we take swings in BR. You only get 9 outs, so we want to, you know, have as hard swings as possible. And I looked over at my other monitor, but you know, just like that, you know, I'm looking for something that I can get a hold of, adjust, boom, 3-0, 2-run homer from Buxton. That's why I put him in the 3 spot, because his swing, I absolutely love his swing. Okay, you know, the more you play, the more comfortable you'll get, and you'll, you know, you'll kind of figure out what you want to do, when and where. I'm trying to record this video and play at the same time while trying to teach. So some of the stuff that I do, you'll see, don't do it. Just let you know. But I really like to look for pitches, and you know, that was a horrible swing. I like to stay within myself. I don't like swinging anything outside the zone unless I have 2 strikes. I like to be patient. I like to work counts, because, you know, if they want to walk you, it's free bases. Especially on All-Star difficulty, you know, a walk can turn into a 2-run homer instantly. So, you know, it's bloop and a blast. Especially with this year, gameplay this year, and there's Moustakas, 68 power, just no doubter. But, you know, especially with gameplay this year, with bloops being so prominent, you know, it's well, and there's Salvi. But you know, it's you just want to find a way to get on base, because one swing can change the outcome of an inning. And as you can see here, I'm doing a lot of these, you know, I'm getting a lot of these runs with 2 outs. So especially on All-Star difficulty, you know, when you have 2 outs, never panic, because a lot of times people will come back. You know, they'll make runs and come back in games when there's 2 outs. You have 3 outs for a reason. You know, it's just deep breath, continue to play your game. I've won multiple games off of 2 outs. I've lost a lot of games off of 2 outs. So, you know, that's why when I pitch, I get a little nervous until that final out, because, you know, it's one swing can change it. I mean, but as you can see here, Casey Schmidt, it's that bronze, the 68 power, you know, it'll play. So I'm gonna get out here on purpose just because I want to show you guys how I pitch, and I have a feeling that he might quit. So how I approach pitching, I throw a lot of sinkers inside and off the plate, as that was hung over the middle. Sinkers and cutters off the plate, just off the plate. You know, you don't want to throw them so far off the plate that they take them for a ball, but you want to make them appear like strikes. So for me, sinkers, cutters just off the plate, that's how I pitch. Okay, so I'm throwing a sinker inside. Okay, he took, you know, it was close though, but he took it. So then I might go circle change away. I throw a lot of change-ups to try and throw off timing. See, he's early. To lefties, I throw some sliders low and in like that, but it's a dangerous pitch, because if you're playing somebody that knows what they're doing, that is going to be a home run 9 times out of 10. But you see the sinker just off the plate, got him to pop up to right field, 2 outs. Okay, very quick 2 outs, 5 pitches. So, you know, I might, now that he's seen the changeup away, I might go changeup in, rolled him over to first. You know, it's a lot of just trying to mix timing and disrupt timing. And I know that's easier said than done being on All-Star, but, you know, it's, you just got to figure out how your opponent plays. As you can see, he quit. So, you know, that's a little bit about how I play BR, how I get my runs done, how I get my flawlesses done. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Apologize for this being a little bit of a lengthier video, but I wanted to get everything in depth to you guys. But I would appreciate it if you guys would like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.